Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Jessi Trif. How are you today? It is Tuesday morning. It was Memorial Day yesterday. Did you relax? I did. For the most part, on an extra day that is a holiday and I'm off, I always end up working on something that I feel like I quote unquote need to catch up on. So I ended up working on a ton of schoolwork and apartment searching, but it was in such a relaxed way. So I love holidays that give me an extra day to just do whatever is on my list that I feel like doing. So I hope you got to do something fun or relaxing or productive on your Memorial Day. So it is Tuesday morning today, and I am here and I am going to talk to you today about gratitude and positivity. So we're going to talk about gratitude and positivity and kind of like how to increase it, how to practice it, how to feel it. And I don't have anything really in an organized fashion for you today. I'm just showing up and talking to you for 20 minutes about gratitude. So a little update for my life is last week, I think I looked at like 7 or 8 apartments. I've looked at a lot of apartments, and Steve has come with for second showings for some of these apartments. And we looked at one this weekend we live in South Beach, Miami, and we drove across the bridge to like this, it's called Upper East Side of Miami. And it's across the bridge kind of more in like a downtown feel area. And this building called Palm Bay. There was a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom there, big for a pretty decent price. And we went and we looked at it, and it had like huge big windows, and it was the 4th floor, so it was like the perfect height to get the tops of all the trees surrounding, and with the open big windows and the long balcony, it was so green in there. And the apartment was cool because it was like built in the maybe late 70s or early, I don't know when it was built, maybe even earlier than that. But it had like a combination of remodeled features along with some cool vintage features, like this awesome like 70s light, and the apartment was so gorgeous. But let me tell you, this Palm Bay building, it's drama. In Miami Beach, there's been a lot of like, these buildings need recertification for their structural integrity because we've had some unfortunate events in this area. So all these buildings are going through this recertification process. So this building that this beautiful apartment was in is going to be going through restructuring. So like some concrete, it's going to lose its balcony for a while. It doesn't have a pool right now. You have to valet your car. You can't even park your own car because they're working in the parking garage. So Steven and I had to like sit and be like, would it be worth it? Would it be worth it? And we decided no, it would not be worth it, because honestly, this building is working on their structural integrity and re-safetyizing itself. It didn't feel right that we move into a building while it's doing that process. So it kind of hurt us a little bit because we were like, oh, that apartment would have been so perfect and we would pay what they wanted us to pay. But it just wasn't right because the building was wah, wah, wah. So we are still looking. But it's all good, and we were having a good time looking. We're gonna like swing up to North Miami Beach, like North Beach of Miami Beach. Right now, we've been in South Beach for 12 years, and we know this area like the back of our hand. We know exactly where we are at any time. We have our places we like to go, but we're almost in this space where we're ready to try a new area. And like 20 minutes north may not seem like a big deal, but for us, it is, because we've been here for 12 years. Moving 20 minutes north is like moving to a whole new place. So we're going to drive around there and kind of like get the vibe and feel what it feels like up there and see. So this has been fun. Like it takes a lot of energy to look at apartments, to find apartments that are available, to schedule the showing, to get there, to go, to think, all that. So I've been going to bed at like 9 o'clock some nights and sleeping the entire night through. So it's been amazing. But I don't know if you've noticed, but Jessi Trif has been a little bit more minimal lately. I'm getting on the podcast, getting a couple Instagram posts up, But the YouTube videos, I haven't been able to really keep those going, and I have to let that be okay. So let's talk about gratitude. Yesterday, there's two things with this that when I started to understand how real this was, I was like, oh, okay. And I have two people I talked to about it, but let's start in the beginning. A while ago, maybe a month ago, one of my sisters posted on social media that she was practicing more gratitude and she was feeling less anxiety. And I forget how she exactly phrased it. It may have been a quote from a book too, but she said there is less room for anxiety when you practice gratitude. And it's true. Like, if you're filling your cup up with things you're thankful for, things that are beautiful around you, things you're happy about, your blessings, then if you're filling your cup with that, there's not as much room to fill it with other things. There's not as much room to feel anxiety, to get depressed, to feel cranky. There's not as much room. So, I followed up and I talked to a friend yesterday, and she was just talking about like things she was grateful for in her life and how she was feeling like pretty good lately, and she was like just saying like I'm being more grateful for things that maybe I took for granted before. And I just talked to her about what my sister said about how, like, when we are grateful for things, when we think about the things that we're blessed with, the things that are amazing, there's just not as much room to feel bad. So, and it doesn't always happen automatically. We don't always wake up in the morning or come home from the grocery store and automatically think, oh, this is so lovely. Oh, what a beautiful day. Oh, that was such a fun grocery shopping trip. Oh, I love this deli turkey I bought. Oh, it's going to taste so good in that yummy sandwich that I make. Your mind doesn't always automatically go to that positive, grateful, thankful, happy place. It's not like automatic. But we need to intentionally highlight those positive things. And when we do that, we are making a choice. We are making a choice to be in that bubble of gratitude, of positivity. We're choosing to be in that bubble. Because there is the other bubble that we could choose to be in, where it is negativity. And the interesting thing about negativity is it doesn't always feel legit negative. Like, if we're having a good time being like, oh my God, that walk was exhausting and it was sprinkling, like it was kind of raining, I was getting wet, and then I started feeling so cold. It was just like so dreary. And then there was so many people on the sidewalk. I kept having to move for these people. We're thinking this in our head, or we're telling a friend, or I come home and I tell Steve. Like, it doesn't feel like I'm being negative. I'm just saying it like it is, aren't I? Like, I'm just saying it like it is. Like, the grocery store was draining. There was a rude person in the checkout in front of me. All the people do seem like really cranky today. I'm just saying it like it is, right? But actually, it's more like the negative bubble. I'm focusing on the things that weren't nice. I'm focusing on the things that didn't feel good, on the things I didn't like. I didn't like that I was cold on my walk. I didn't like that the sidewalks were full of people. I didn't like that it was dreary out, even though I really do like the rain. But instead, so that actually is the negative bubble. Sometimes it feels like we're just saying it like it is. What? I'm just saying it like it is. It was like that. But it's negativity, because if you tap into the energy of how it makes you feel, it's backwards. It's like to the excess of draining, excess of not really motivating, stagnant, down, mopey, a victim. It's over to that side. So that side is the negative side. So when you say more like if it was the same experience and I was like, well, the plants looked so fresh when the rain fell on them. They were absolutely beautiful. I could smell them. I made it home in time to get on that conference call. My timing was so perfect. I got exercise because I missed the trolley, so I got to move my body. That's the excess of feeling good about what I did. Feeling like I was productive, feeling like the universe was working for me and making things work out. So you have that excess negative and you have the excess positive. But how can we be grateful and be positive, but have it be real? Because if we're like, I don't want to be negative, I just want to be positive and be like, oh, that walk was so nice, when really it was like kind of tiring and it was cold. So how do I be authentically positive or authentically grateful with a walk that really wasn't maybe one of my most pleasant experiences? Well, that's where the two circles meet in the middle. So you know when you have two circles, you've seen like a graph like that where they have two circles, but they're super close together that they kind of hug in the middle. And then there's like that oval diamond in the middle where both the circles overlap. I feel like that middle part, that's the authentic part when things are not really the best, but you're choosing to be grateful. You're choosing to be energized and positive in how you acknowledge a not so positive experience. So that little middle part is like the authenticity.
Oh boy.
Wow. That's the authenticity in a difficult or not pleasurable situation. So when something is hard or something is difficult or something is draining or something is sad or it's a hard life experience, if you can stay in that middle part, then you're not allowing yourself to fall over into the negative and to give up and to be a victim and to be ungrateful and to be negative. You're staying in that middle part where you can just have the momentum to continue moving forward and not be pulled down. So a situation like that would be, let's say you're driving and you get in a car bump, a fender bender, and it really stinks. And you feel yourself kind of getting pulled into, oh, how can I afford this? Why did this happen to me? This is the worst thing that could happen today. This is just like, oh no, like, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. These things always happen to me. Like, you have all these unhelpful thinking, like, things coming up, you know? But how can you stay in that middle of those two circles? Well, validation is a big thing. You know, validating that, wow, this really stinks. This is not a fun thing to go through. And it does not feel good to know that I fender bendered somebody and that this is going to cost me money and that my insurance is probably going to go up. That does not feel good. That is kind of like a really yucky feeling. Validation that it's an unpleasant experience and that no, it is not hunky-dory. No, I am not just like, it's okay. It's not hunky-dory. Validating that it's not hunky-dory is powerful because you're saying it like it is, but you're not falling into the victim mindset of it. Why does this always happen to me? I can't believe that I have to go through this. You're validating, wow, this stinks. But you know what? I can handle it. You know, and then positive talking to yourself. I've got my back. This happened, and it's not going to feel fun to tell the people that I need to tell, but I can tell the people this happened. I didn't do anything like to deserve this. This just happened. Things happen. It doesn't feel good, but I can move through it. So you're staying in the middle of those two circles there and expressing some gratitude about it. Wow, I'm so glad nobody got hurt. Wow, I'm so glad this happened when I wasn't going to go pick my kids up from school where I would be late to pick them up. Wow, I'm so glad that this is going to be an easy fix for my car. Wow, I'm so glad I have a car. I'm so glad I have car insurance. I'm so glad this person that I hit is being so forgiving and understanding to me and not yelling at me. They're being a really nice person. All of those gratitudes help the experience to be more, it's not that it's enjoyable, but it is authentically manageable. You can move through it, and you know you're going to be fine, and you know you can continue living your life with a smile on your face, even though this thing happened. So that is a overview of what it feels like to go negative, what it feels like to go positive, and what it feels like to stay positive in a negative experience. But there's also being able to stay negative in a positive experience. And that's something that we want to kind of be able to recognize in ourselves if we are doing that. So if there's a positive experience, let's say you're going to a farmer's market with your family. So you're going to this farmer's market with your family. Like that's a pleasant experience, right? Like you got there safely. You have your wonderful family to experience this day with. The weather is beautiful. But you just kind of feel like, I would rather be home, like reading a book. Or I would rather be like going for an exercise or a run. Like, what? This isn't really what I want to do right now. And then everybody, and why do they want to stop at that booth? Or, it's so hot out, or I'm thirsty. When are we going to eat? How long are we going to be here? Like, this is like so draining. So you're being negative in a positive experience. And if you notice yourself doing these things where it's something that's actually a positive experience, but in your head, you're making it into a negative experience, that's where it's really important that you start to acknowledge and notice that it is inside your head, and it is quite possibly you who is making that into a negative experience. And then be curious. Am I blaming other people for this being a negative experience? You know? Oh, my husband wanted to do this. He's always wanting to do stuff like this. He's always wanting to bring our family to the farmer's market. Ugh. You're blaming your husband for your negative experience. Or, I don't know, like, all these booths are so close together, there's no room to walk. You're blaming the farmer's market for it being a negative experience. So if you notice that you're having a lot of negative experiences and you feel like it's not that positive, like I'm not having that much fun, start to be curious what is going on inside your mind. Where are your thoughts going? Are you blaming your environment or others or your kids or whoever? Are you blaming others for your negative experiences? And if you are, just try some things on. Try to notice the blame. If you're blaming someone else or something else, just take it away. Like, take the blame away. Be like, okay, I am blaming. I'm going to stop blaming, whatever. And what happens when you take the blame away? And then what happens if you add in some gratitude? Like, if you're having a negative experience, take the blame away first and then add in some gratitude. If you're having a bad day at home and you're blaming your husband because you think he's crabby or your kids are being naughty or your body hurts, then first take away the blame. Okay, I'm not going to blame it on my husband or my kids or my body. Fine. All right, that's gone. And then express 3 gratitudes. Wow, I'm so thankful for this house I'm in, that I could afford this house, that I can afford this house to live here. Wow, it's actually a really cozy rainy day right now. I'm so grateful for this rain. And then maybe the third thing, I already know what I'm going to cook for dinner. I already know that I'm going to make, chicken pot pie or something like that. I already know what I'm going to have for dinner. I don't even need to plan dinner. And then express those 3 gratitudes. And then see if your perspective or your experience shifts into even just a little bit more positive, even a little bit more enjoyable or lighter. What I've noticed is when I do this, when I'm being negative or I'm like just not enjoying my life with whatever I'm doing, if I let go of responsibility I'm placing on others or other things, I let go of that and I say, okay, I'm in my body. This is my experience of life. I cannot blame others for how I'm experiencing it. And then let me look around and find 3 things to be grateful for. I notice that I feel lighter. I notice that I feel less of a burden that I need to push through. I feel more authentic, that I am like able to just like enjoy this life that I am in. So when you practice that, just be gentle with yourself. No self-blame either. Don't blame yourself. Don't get down on yourself. I'm always so negative. I'm not good at this. Just do it. Just like stop blaming and then just try some gratitude. And some other tips for gratitude that I have that have helped me is having a journal. I've been journaling now for I think 2 years every day. And I write 3 gratitude statements every day. Some days it's so easy and I come up with these complicated things I'm grateful for. And some days I'll write the first one and then I totally blank. And I'm like, I can't think of anything that happened that I was really awesome. And then I told that to my friend and she's like, well, why don't you default to like the givens? Like you have legs that you can walk, you can go to the bathroom. And I'm like, you know what? I think you're right. Like, why am I putting this pressure on myself that I have to have this complicated statement of how grateful I am for something? I can just be grateful for my body. I can be grateful that I have food to eat, that I can eat the food, that my body works, that I can smile. I can default to the basic things. So a gratitude journal or gratitude statements every day, or if you're feeling ungrateful, write them down. You can even just wait till you're feeling negative or ungrateful to do your gratitude statements. But I love doing it every day in the morning because it puts me in the right mindset. And then the other tip that I have is a little elusive, but it really works for me. If I notice myself getting in my head, kind of like anxiety or like just feeling cranky or a little sad, I'll just stop what I'm doing and I'll take like 3 deep breaths and I'll just look at everything around me and I will observe. I will look at a painting that I can see and I will take a deep breath and I'll be like, what do I like about that painting? Oh, I really like the shade of blue that they used. I take a deep breath. I look at Steven and I say, wow, you know what? I'm really lucky to have such a great man in my life to support me and create space for me. I take a deep breath and I imagine seeing my nieces and nephews and they're smiling and playing and laughing and I just think of them. I don't force myself to say, I am grateful for my nieces and nephews. I just take a breath and I imagine looking at them and loving them and how adorable and sweet they are. So I just take deep breaths and think about the things that are wonderful in my life. Think about things that I like about my surroundings. And then the last thing, I'm going to add this in here too. It is so crazy how when you take care of your home, it makes you grateful and helps you honor your own body. Because really, we live in this house or this apartment or this space. We live somewhere, but our spirit lives in our body. So when we take care of the home that we live in, we clean our surfaces, we dust, we clean the toilet, we do the dishes, we have it nice. We put time into like enjoying how things look. In a way, we are expressing self-love. We're expressing love for ourselves and our body when we do that. So when you take care of your home, you're being grateful for your home. You're loving your home. You're giving your home time. And then it allows you to express appreciation for where you live. So gratitude, positivity, appreciation. There's lots of ways we can do it. So this podcast was just to kind of motivate you to notice and to keep going. Keep being positive, keep being grateful, keep being happy and enjoying the things around you. Sometimes when we start to get negative, or we're around people who maybe don't focus on the positive, who are a little more negative in their daily life, we can fall into it a little bit, or feel like that's the way to live, or don't be too happy, like you're faking it, or like say it how it is. If we're around people who are a little bit more complaining, we sometimes feel like, oh, that's more authentic. But that's not true. So if you're being positive, if you're being grateful, keep going. That is a high vibration way to live. High frequency, high vibration, powerful. And being grateful and positive and more that mindset, authenticity in negative experiences, having uncomfortable experiences be okay, and being grateful for all different emotions and experiences in life. Choosing that is good for your immune system. It keeps you healthier, and it's good for your mood. It puts you in a better mood, and it helps you sleep better. So regular gratitude expression, journaling, reminders has been shown to result in a 5 to 15% increase in optimism and a 25% increase in sleep quality. So gratitude and positive thinking help keep us in an optimistic, happy mood. They help us sleep better. They help us be healthier and have a better immune system. So there's so many reasons to be grateful, to be positive, but really my number one is it just helps you feel more joyful in your life. It just helps you enjoy your life so much more. It just makes sense to me. I feel better in my life when I'm grateful. I feel better in my life when I don't fall down the negativity train. I enjoy my life more. I'm more joyful. So why not? So that's all for today. I loved jabbering with you, and this was our 21st episode. We reached 20 last week. That was so exciting. So we're just going to keep going. This is Jessi Trif Podcast. I love that you're here. Thank you for sticking it through the episode, and I will be back next week to talk to you some more. Have a great time until then. I love you, and I'll talk to you next week. Ciao. Da 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 da. Jessi Trif.